We talked a little bit about assessments and observation. We'll talk a little bit more too in just a moment, but they really can provide some additional valuable insight into the coaching process. We might be a little biased because we do so much in 360s, but we believe that 360s and 360 data can be a natural complement to the coaching process in a fantastic way to give initial baseline data that a coach and a coachee, a leader, can use to help target specific development goals. And that's really what we're looking at here. Let's take a moment to explore how they can work together quite effectively. So what we find is that 360 feedback can provide a coachee, a leader, with some valuable baseline awareness to start the coaching. That 360 data can do a few different things. It can validate a strength that the coach and leader can discuss on how that can be further leveraged, how a leader can further lean into that strength in ways they hadn't considered before, and really obtain better and different results by doing so. 360 data can highlight a known development area to improve, and through the course of coaching, simply provide that forum for really getting some traction on that known area. Or it can identify a blind spot, something that completely raises the awareness of the leader, that prior unknown development area, and that's where some of the greatest ahas tend to occur. So in this regard, the coach becomes critical to help that leader accept what their 360 feedback is telling them, instead of that leader just dismissing it or discounting the feedback or becoming defensive to it. So the coach has a really critical role to play to have them understand and accept that new awareness. And this acceptance is essential if accurate and targeted coaching goals are going to be created. And then through ongoing coaching is where the leader, with support from that coach, starts to work on bridging that gap between today and what the future desired state looks like. And then working together is where the coach and leader can foster some very real and remarkable, frankly, sustained behavior change in support of the plan. And that's where accountability comes in, because for it to be effective, it should be an integral piece of that process. Okay. When 360s and coaching work hand in hand with each other, here is just a sample of some of the results that can be achieved. And actually, these are real sample quotes from HR leaders like yourselves, captured in our most recent 360 feedback benchmarking study. In fact, you never know. Some of you on the call may have contributed one or more of these comments that we're looking at here. But the one that stands out to me is on the bottom left of the screen. And it reads, "It's better to have real data to base the coaching on." That comment right there is what I call the so what of it all. You're in a position to make some real data-driven decisions that can then be used to plan targeted coaching and development goals. And you're doing that instead of guessing or instead of basing coaching goals on a more limited perception. And some of you might be wondering from a 360 standpoint, okay, what makes for good 360 data to be included in a coaching plan? And what we find ideally is that 360 feedback will provide the most useful and accurate results when it's based on a regular and frequent cadence of interactions with the raters, right? At a very bare minimum, 3 months of regular and frequent, ideally 6 months or longer, because that provides enough touch points, enough observations of behaviors of that leader upon which the raters could use to base their ratings. And while we're talking about 360s here, another thing to keep in mind is that individuals, leaders going through coaching, can also achieve additional perspective based on data provided by other diagnostic tools as well. In fact, at 3D Group, we use the Hogan suite of assessments quite regularly based on the Big Five theory of personality. There might be others that you use at your organizations. And I like to view each of these assessments as providing additional data points that can help that leader understand themselves better and gain additional awareness about any development areas and why they do things the way they do. This is all quite useful for the coach and the leader to discuss and then to target some planning around.